people always ask me, like, okay, what do you do for a living? And my response is literally, I'm an entrepreneur in the food media space, right? So I thrive on building ecosystems that make people feel comfortable around food, and I monetize each level of those particular ecosystems, right? So I don't look at myself and go, I'm in the food service industry. I look at myself as a social media influencer who's built an ecosystem and has monetized that ecosystem, right? Because without this idea of a brand, without this idea of an ecosystem, Darius Cooks does not exist. So all of the energy and effort that I put in,
look at somebody else's page, get inspired. Don't, and get your ideas. I'm not even gonna say don't copy, because that's why we're here. We're here to inspire you, to make you want to take what we did and make it better, right? That's what we're here for. So at the end of the day, continue to get inspired by other people. Always put out content, great content. Social media is huge. I got my first NBC pilot because the producer watch my Instagram all the time. They watch my Instagram, they see my food, and they just decided, like, damn, we really want you to be on this NBC television show. Because you looked at my Instagram, because I was consistent, because the color looks great. Stop putting up these fucking pictures of this food where the camera is fuzzy, it's moving. Be intentional. You know what I'm saying? Like, be intentional. If you're gonna do it, do it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not judging. But if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do a video, let it be crisp, let it be clean. Let
you walk into it. I can cook what I want to cook. I don't really have a budget for food. I can cook what I want, how I want. The people that I'm working with, they love me, and I'm making good money, and my name is out there a little bit, And man, I just look at it and I'm like, damn, I have finally won the damn lottery. You know what I mean? And wow. And just like you put that dollar and you pay that tip.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's me, your boy Chef Jacoby Ponder. I want to talk to you real quick about Chefpreneur Academy and some of the things that inspired me to get this thing rolling. So the first thing I noticed, there was definitely a need in the culinary market to educate and also motivate at the same time. So that's kind of how it came about. The second thing was I wanted to teach people about the power of youth. What is inside of you, the internal mechanisms to get you motivated, to get you started into your day. And then lastly was teaching chefs on how to monetize on being a chef and not just out here hustling.
When you guys go back to the ship, it's going to look very different at chow time, but that's all right, because you take these skills that you learned here, you apply them back on the ship, and you continue to make the best chow you can for your shipmates. All right. Learning is one of those doesn't have a destination. It's a continuing journey. This is one more tool for your tool bag to put in. Take them back to the ship, all right, and show your shipmates, both the CSs and everybody else around there, what you've learned, what you're capable of, all right? And it's all a matter of the effort that you want to put into it, whether that's cooking on the ship or working on a degree elsewhere or going out in town and being the best family member, husband, wife, brother, sister you can be, all right? Just take everything you've learned and apply it. Application is critical. And you guys will be showing us, the application of your skills here. Bring it back and show us on the ship as well. But thanks especially to Chef here for taking the time to teach you guys, offer the class. Steph, you and your team, your efforts obviously do not go unnoticed. We got 97% of the CSs through the class, which is amazing. All right, so you guys can all compete against each other and poke each other if you see somebody slipping. All right, so stay on top of each other, work with each other, all right, and have fun on the ship, just like I'm sure you had fun here. Thanks.
Now, how do we gain access to Chefpreneur? Chefpreneur is a brand new platform for academia and also business acquisition, as well as culinary arts. We focus mainly on business and how to acquire business and marketing. How do you get Chefpreneur Academy to come to your city, your town, or your command? Simply reach out to chefjacobypartner.com, send us a quick email, and we'll come to you. Or you come to us. We have our own facility, or we're coming to your facility. What's going on, everybody? Good Tuesday afternoon, or Tuesday evening, rather. Sorry about that. Tuesday evening. Thank you for joining us. Chefpreneur Academy. Again, every Tuesday at 6:30, we try to reach out, talk to chefs, bring you guys in. We're now streaming across YouTube, we're streaming across Facebook, we're streaming across Instagram. Finally, we're up live on Instagram right now. Super excited about that. And then just more platforms to come in the future. So make sure you guys tap in with us, man. Email us if you have any questions. Today, we're going to kind of talk about a couple of different things. Thanks for joining. I want to talk about business development, or just development of business, period. I'm going right into it because I know a lot of chefs who do own their own business. And that's hopefully the ones who are tapping in, tuning in right now. Those culinarians, food service workers, whoever's in the food service industry, I just need some guidance or some business advice on how to make money, how to continue to make money in this forever changing industry called food service. And I think that when we speak to food service is the overall umbrella of what we're doing. Then this is my own personal thing now. This is not no scientific fact. This is what I think it is and how I operate. And I've been doing it for a while, right? So there's the really big umbrella of hospitality. Then you have food service. And whatever's in the food service industry is mostly what we deal with. So we're gonna talk about business and how to operate our business. And just me giving some points. These are some pointers. We definitely encourage everybody who watch this today and in the future to definitely sign up for your one-on-one consultation. We'll talk over Zoom, myself and you. If you have any further questions that you don't want to ask in the chat or just want to learn more about it. So talking about business development. What is business development? What is this? What does it mean to develop your own business? And for me, it's not just enough that we cook, and we're all great cooks and great chefs in our own right. But knowing how to run our business and to make money from the business is what's critical. A lot of us may have been cooking for years, and we find ourselves kind of chasing the carrot a little bit, especially now, what's happening now, with how the industry has been affected by COVID and other things in operation. Food prices are going up. So as the food prices has increased over the past, 18 months, maybe 2 years, and it's steady climbing, are you adjusting your prices on your menus? Are you adjusting how you do business? Price of gas may have went up. That's important because if you're a personal private chef, you have to drive to and fro your clients. Are we making adjustments to make money on those types of adventures? Do you own a food truck? Do you own a brick and mortar? Do you have intentions on owning a food truck one day, or what are your goals? This is why we're going to discuss business development, how to develop that business. The main objective of this is to discuss business development and a checklist. Have to create a checklist. It's very important. It kind of gives us a guide to how to structure our business. A checklist to the business development, which includes strategic planning, business plan, branding, website development, streams of revenue, advertising, marketing, motivation partners, relationships, building back of the house and front of the house. Quite a bit to go into it. And like I said, everything I mentioned don't apply to everybody, depending on what your market is. For personal private chefs, can look a little bit different from chefs in a restaurant. I know a couple of chefs now that are actually doing their own thing. They're not a restaurant, and they're not kind of more like an event space, and they're throwing their own events, their own dinner parties, which is very popular as well. So many ways you can go about doing it. Introduction says, today's business world is fast-paced, volatile, and unpredictable. That's what I said earlier about COVID and then the prices of food going up. Nobody predicted that. But are you adjusting your business to handle the impact of the rising food prices? Are you adjusting your business to deal with not having employees? That's a big one. People don't want to work anymore. Or they're just affected by COVID and they figured, hey, I'll just be an entrepreneur. So the labor pool is drying up for food service as well. Good quality people, let me say that, good quality people are drying up. Employment retention for most restaurants and food service industries are also on the rise. And I know a lot of personal chefs and caterers who would love to have their own staff, who I even recommended that they get their own staff. And it could be 2 or 3 people, but some help. Even me, what I do as a personal chef, I would love some assistance a lot of the times, you know? But how do we get there? What's the path? What's the pathway of least resistance on scaling our business? Plate_full Chef Fran over on Instagram says, indeed, it is rough out here. Oh, my friend, you wouldn't believe. Big shouts to Instagram. If you guys are not following me, Chefpreneur Academy on Instagram, quite a few people in the comments over here. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm glad you can hear. I'm glad the link worked, first of all. When I saw the Instagram was an option to stream off of StreamYard, I got excited. I'm already doing YouTube and Facebook, but the fact that I saw Instagram, I'm super excited about it. So thank you guys for joining us. And to reply to that comment, Plateful, Chef Fran, I think it is. Chef Fran. It is rough out here. Because a lot of times, a lot of personal private chefs or caterers try to adjust their prices to attract customers, I think. And you never can compete on price point. What does that mean? Don't try to lower your prices or raise your prices to compete with anybody in the industry. Your price should be your price. Period. Now, you have to show and prove. You have to show and prove your skill set to match your price point. So don't charge anything ridiculous and then you can't deliver on what it should look like. But do charge accordingly. And just to Chef Rand, in your comment, I talked to a lot of chefs and I found out that there's a lot of money on the table because private chefs and caterers are not charging properly. And that's a huge thing that I've seen. Even being a personal private chef myself for so many years, I struggle with how to price my food out, how to price my services out. Because one thing to just charge for food costs, because your client has to buy the food. You're not going to buy the food yourself. But then it's the chef service. Like, how much are you charging to do this particular gig for a certain amount of time? Are you bringing your equipment, your setup, staff? You have to itemize your charges. Some chefs are doing this. I'm not saying everybody's not doing it, but the ones I know personally, a lot of them didn't know to charge for certain things. So a lot of money on the table. In Chefpreneur Academy, that's the kind of stuff I talk about. So this is not particularly for people who learn how to cook. You know, this is not a culinary school. This is a school for culinarians. For those who want to take their business to the next level in this industry, because there's a lot of room, a lot of growth in the hospitality field and culinary industry. Lots of growth, lots of room to grow this industry. I think people are sometimes they put their blinders on and they're a little bit short-sighted about the opportunities in the industry. I can remember, but kind of. Being a chef or being a cook was not always a popular thing. People viewed chefs and cooks, kind of as to help. Being a chef recently became popular. Recently. Last 10 years maybe. 10, 12 years became popular. Super cool to be a chef. So there's a certain persona, around chefs that people already are looking for. Like there's an expectation built in already. How do we charge for that? How do we charge for expectation? But we're going to talk about it. A lot of y'all are just tapping in. Appreciate y'all for joining over on Instagram. Appreciate y'all. What'd you say? I made a business for years on food cost, inventory, labor alone. Yeah, that's good. A lot of chefs don't know how to do. A lot of chefs, you mentioned inventory or food cost control, anything like that alone, it'll throw them for a loop. And it's not that it's a hard situation. Some chefs maybe don't want to take the time to learn it, or maybe it looks intimidating. I'm not sure what it is. So I'm not speaking to the chefs. If you got it going on, you're making money, your business is doing great, and you stay booked and cool. But there's a lot of the chefs out here that are not doing that. And you're right, they don't understand the business. And there's a business to this. You want to just cook and get Instagram likes? Cool, do that. Nobody's knocking you for that. You want to spend all that time creating content, then great, do it. But why not leverage that talent, though? Why not leverage that talent? In the Chefpreneur Academy, I took almost 100 active duty military members, cooks. These are all culinarians in the military. None of them had any aspirations, as per our conversation, to open up a restaurant or open up a business, or even to think about starting a business with their food. They just love to cook. They're great cooks. And these were kids, they were younger, early 20s. So a lot of them, their mind was not geared in a direction. I had about 20 students at a time. I took 20 students, broke them up into 4 groups, and gave them 5 days. They only had 5 days to come up with the name of a restaurant, the concept, the menu, cost the menu out, the location of the restaurant, learn the per capita income of that area. This is all made up and pretend, like they made this stuff up. But 2 or 3 I know actually executed their business plan. And I had to tell them, you can't operate your business effectively or lead anybody with your head in the pot. And what I mean by that is you'll see most executive chefs are normally not in the kitchen. Normally. They're in their office. Order, inventory, P&L. They're doing more of the clerical work now. Of course, your food and beverage director is also doing the clerical work, but he's also looking forward down the road, looking at numbers, planning for the operation. And this is the level that I'm hoping to get a lot of chefs to, especially chefs who've been cooking for over a decade. Personal private chefs, catering chefs, restaurant chefs. And I always ask the question, how many of you guys know chefs who retired from the industry? You don't ever hear anything glamorous or glorious about a chef retiring from chefing. Typically, because I'm a chef also, you don't retire, you just pass away, unfortunately. Hopefully you pass recipes down. Hopefully you got some stuff going thereafter for your siblings, but that's typically what happens. That's what incited me to get the program going, y'all, because I was like, wait a minute. I don't want to just cook great food and then that be it. And maybe opening a restaurant is not your desire. People who ask chefs about opening a restaurant, it's like meeting somebody that's tall and asking, do you play basketball? It's almost like it's a given. You want a restaurant? No, I don't want a restaurant. I have no desire to have a restaurant. I don't want one. I may want a food truck and own a chain of food trucks or whatever the case is. You may just want to be a chef and open a restaurant and you not be there, but you hire a really great chef to run your restaurant for you. It's still your restaurant. You're just not in there. So talking to chefs throughout the nation about transforming their mindset into becoming a boss in the kitchen. That's one of the pillars that Chefpreneur Academy is based on. Also, is becoming a boss in the kitchen. I don't mean being rude and bossing people around. I mean, like, actually, this is my kitchen. This is my equipment. These are my staff, my team members. And kind of go to the next level. Fool said, he said, I'm utilizing interns for an event. Get in touch with local schools. That's true. Reach out to local culinary schools. Get some help. Get staffed up. Even staffing companies also help. How many of y'all guys have some type of checklist? Or let's say this, goals for your business, for your catering business, personal chef business, for your restaurant. How many of you guys have goals? Even goals just to get started. You have to have a checklist. If you don't know what that should look like, research. What type of business do you want? What kind of operation do you want? And this is important because people are not going to stop eating. You have people now who are not even chefs. And this is the urgency of understanding or participating in something like Chefpreneur Academy. You have non-culinarians, non-chefs, have never been to culinary school, just at home regular folk on TikTok, and they're killing it. Like the food industry, they're making millions of dollars, not even chefs. They put no time into the industry to earn the title of chef, and they're okay with that. You have a lot of food enthusiasts, commonly known as what type of food bloggers, who just go around, and these are not food critics, by the way. They're just foodies, which is a whole new community that has evolved out of the food service industry. 10 years ago, it wasn't no foodies. It was just people like to eat. Now we have new hip terms and cliques and crews of individuals who are now become the mouthpiece for food. And they're making money. What's going on, Ryzen? How you doing? And they're making money from it. So my challenge to you is, let's deal with how we can make money also, and not just from cooking. Not just from cooking food. Hey, Chef Rant, I look forward to it. Shoot us an email and let me know. We'll definitely chop it up for a one-on-one. Definitely. And again, everybody, if you want to get those one-on-ones, definitely hit me up. Shoot me an email. Tonight, we're just kind of peeling back the layers and talking about some things, getting you guys to think a little bit. Get in touch with me for a one-on-one. We'll chop it up, create a strategy for you, create a plan for you, and start turning the corner to make some money in this industry, because there's money to be made in food service. If you're a chef right now, in the sound of my voice, you've been cooking professionally for over a period of 10 years, and you do not have a cookbook or a cutting board or some type of equipment affiliated with food, then you're a little bit behind. And I'm only saying it respectfully because it's easy to do it. It's also easy not to do it. But it's pretty simple to do it. You take some time and make a plan and execute that plan. It's real easy to do it. That means by you putting stuff on your website, maybe you don't have a website. That's good. That's why we got the one-on-ones. We can set you up for all that stuff. Get your website developed. You need some new headshots, photographer, like really help set you up for success. So people are seeking you out to book you or for considerations for weddings or private chef events. Your page looks professional. You look professional. Everything looks professional. We'll talk about a lot of stuff. I'm trying to get into it until we get to one-on-ones. Hit me up there. So strategic planning and business planning. I'll give y'all a couple of jewels that we kind of talk about. A couple of jewels that we will go through, rather. Strategic planning and business planning. This should include everything from your company's mission statement. How many of you guys are operating your business right now with our business statement? And these are for people who have a business, a culinary business, or some type of catering business, food trucks, something that's a legitimate business, not a side hustle, not slinging plates out your house, not knocking that, but just taking the game serious. Like they have a business license, they're operating, business bank account, trying to build their business credit. How many of you all are with PayPal or Square as your merchant? When you guys get catering gigs and do businesses with companies, you should be sending out invoices through one of these merchant platforms. And the reason I bring up PayPal and or Squarespace, because if you've been operating with them for a period of time, you can actually apply for what's called working capital credit, and it's not even a loan. Depending on how much volume you have coming through those merchant systems, PayPal or Squarespace. Listen to me, chefs, culinarians. If you have a food truck or you're constantly using those merchant services for invoicing and to collect payment through a POS system, you can apply for what's called working capital credit. They're not going to pull your credit score. It's not about credit score. It's about how much business you've generated over a period of time with that platform, PayPal or Squarespace. And whatever amount you qualify for based on your business volume, that's how much they'll allow you to borrow. And they'll just take, I think it's something low, man. I mean, like, don't get me, I don't want to quote it, but it's, let's say you bring in $100 for the day through sales. They take like $15, maybe $9. 15 maybe too high, like maybe $7 to $9 from that sale in order to pay back whatever that working capital credit you borrowed. Here's the kicker. Once you pay it back in completion, you qualify for another one. And this time it's bigger because you just showed improvements. You can handle credit. It's called working capital credit. And see, that's free. That's free. Plenty more things like that I can offer, talk to you about. They won't cost you nothing but a little bit of time. Won't cost you a dime, cost you a little bit of time. That's it. Chef Rand, you're absolutely right. Government contracting is huge. I got a course coming on that soon too. Food service government contracting. That's coming soon also. That's the direction I try to push all caterers who are kind of struggling, but they're really good though. Like, I'm just really good caterers out there and they're struggling to get business. Like they're struggling to stay busy. Partnerships. We're going to talk about partnerships too. That's real big for me as well in the industry. Like more chefs should be working together. All of us should work together. I'm surprised. I'm going to put it out there. Maybe the universe will make it happen. I don't have time to make it happen. Some type of chefs union, if there's not already one, to band together, to like leverage our talent. I'm trying to start a revolt, but who else going to do it? People look to us as the leaders and trendsetters of everything culinary. And it's talking to all the chefs who are listening to this broadcast right now, all the chefs. People are really looking to you to be the next phase in the food service industry. Receiving certifications like a certified nutritionist. All chefs should be you should at least have some level of nutrition background or took a course in nutrition or at least understand nutrition, because that's a whole nother boatload of money you can make as a chef. People love to eat food with the sauce all over and cheesed up. What if you did the same food, less calories, more healthy? There's a whole market out there for that. And maybe it will cause you to challenge yourself a little bit, because a lot of chefs are also stuck in their cuisine, in their realm, and that's just fine. A lot of chefs are stuck in what they know to do with food. But again, if you've been doing this past 10 years, then I challenge you to at least just pivot your operation a little bit and challenge yourself. A strategic plan will not only keep you accountable, but it will also help you to earn a reputation as reliable, trustworthy business partner. There's that plan again. Also, the accountability piece. This is a very tiring industry. Like if you work a 16-hour shift or 10-hour shift, 8-hour shift at any restaurant, it's tiring. My point to that is sometimes you don't feel like it. You don't want to be accountable for doing something. Like I don't want to do it. I feel like doing it. That's okay because sometimes you do get tired. But having a strategic plan keeps you on course is my point. A strategic plan will also help you identify areas of opportunity and expansion in your business. So you can, I just said this, so you can pivot and evolve, and it evolves as necessary to take advantages of those opportunities while remaining true to your core values and goals. During COVID, a lot of chefs in restaurants realized the doors are closing in the restaurant for months, for a year, however long it took. I know 3 restaurant owners personally who had to close their doors forever. Nobody was ready for it. Right after COVID happened, we had the inflation happened. Food prices are through the roof, and restaurants are not built. No food service outlet is built to withstand inflation. Food services signed up to operate on a certain target number percentage, a certain food cost percentage margin is at play. So if the demand is going down, but the price of food is going up, you're losing clients, you're losing work, your whole operation is at risk. That's what happened during COVID. A lot of chefs, restaurants I know personally, again, had to close their doors. They were not ready for it. Now, what did other restaurants do? They saw the opportunity. Things like Uber Eats came out, Grubhub came out. A lot of those apps partner with those restaurants or vice versa. So you have to be able to pivot. A couple of laws or statutes were also passed that helped out a lot of chefs too. I think it's called the cottage law, which allowed people to sell food out of their house. I think it had to be inspected by the USDA or something like that. Not sure. But anyway, there's opportunities always for people to pivot, change your position, change your mindset. Branding. Branding is super important also. That's why we have the social media outlets. Chefs, if your Instagram page or social media page is just full of food pictures, that day is going away. If your Instagram page is loaded with food pictures, hell, even your Facebook page, if it's just loaded full of what they call static pictures, static posts, that day is over with. People are ready to see what you're doing and how you're doing it, how you're making it, how you're creating it. I'm not saying not posting your food pictures won't get you likes, but you start to kind of set a trend of who you are, what kind of chef you are. If I can see what you're doing, how you make it. You posted a picture of a delicious crab cake yesterday. Probably got 122 likes. Excellent. Post a video of you creating the crab cake and see what happens. This is all part of your brand. And we actually taught this in class also about the differences between branding, marketing, promoting, which are not the same things. What is your brand as a chef? I don't mean the name of your business. The name of your business is the name of your business. As a chef, what is your brand? What are you known for? What are you known by? When people see your logo or picture or whatever the case is, they should think something. If I put up a picture of a yellow golden arch of an M without even showing a word, you know that's McDonald's because it's a brand. They've earned your trust to be called a brand, to be recognized as a brand. They've sold over 1 billion people, they say. So they're a brand. What is your brand? Do you have a logo for your brand as a chef? Is your logo reserved, trademark? Do you have a cookbook in the works? Who are you? All those things count, y'all. I'm telling y'all. All those things count. Websites. I have mixed feelings about websites. I had IT tell me last year, websites are like dinosaurs. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, websites are overglorified business cards. I was like, damn. Now, granted, this guy was an app developer, so he was leaning towards an app versus a website. I think websites okay though. Websites help to communicate to your audience who you are. It helps to show your brand. And with that branding mechanism, the colors of your website has to transcend through everything you do. So your social media, your website, everything has to look congruent. All of it. All of it matters. I can't go to your website and see one thing, go to your social media page and see another thing. It has to look aesthetically pleasing. The web is the most accessible and effective channel for marketing and selling. Having a strong online presence is essential for a business, regardless of size. With the right web design, your content and strategy, your website can become a powerful tool for leading in generation. Customer retention and brand wellness. I get down to the point in meticulous on my website to where I see who people are on my website, like who's coming to my website. Something I learned recently was how long are they staying on my website? What's your retention rate on your website? What is your SEO? Search engine optimization. All this stuff counts. If you want to get seen, if you want to make some money. If you don't want to make any money, just, keep doing what you're doing. That's fine. But if you've been doing this for a while and you're stuck wondering like, damn, how can I make more money? How can I create more opportunities? How can I bring my talent in front of a bigger marketplace? How do I do that? How do I leverage my talent? I'm more than just a cook. I'm more than just a chef. You guys have ideas beyond the pot, beyond the stove. Like, don't get relegated to just being in the kitchen all the time. It's cool you can cook. That's fine. But after the food is cooked and we're eating, what else? What else are we doing? And again, I know some chefs who all they want to do is just cook. They have no desire to do anything but just cook great food. And it's okay. You make them your employees. You got to have employees in the kitchen. That's your group right there. Those who want to cook all the time. We try to talk business to them or business sense or discuss business plans, or they don't want to hear it. It's okay. Unfortunately, many small businesses don't have the budget to hire a web developer or don't know how to go about finding the right developer for their needs. That's also a holdup. You don't have the resources to get this stuff done. It's okay. Shoot us an email. Shoot me an email. The email is marking across the bottom of the screen right there. chefpreneuracademy@gmail.com. Send us an email. Let us help you. Give you some assistance. Even if it's just a conversation that you need to have because you have some ideas, you don't know which way to go. Let us help you develop that idea and that plan for you. Because we all need that. Like, we all need that connection or that big bro or big sister moment in this industry to make sure we're doing it correctly. We don't have all the answers. I'm a commercial fisherman in the food industry. Great. Listen, could you put your email address up here or a website? These are the connections we're making right here. Right to the source. Why not, right? Right to the source. She's a commercial fishing woman. I said man, okay? A commercial fishing woman in the food industry. Give us your email or website, and we'll definitely support you and check you out. Between ChatGTP and Fiverr, and it's one other, Canva. Between those three sources, chefs, there's no reason you shouldn't have what you need. And if you don't have time for it, we understand. If you're not well versed with it, we understand. Shoot me an email, set up a one-on-one on the calendar, and we'll talk you through it. I'll walk you through it. I keep checking on Instagram. Instagram is going crazy. Chef Rand said, ghost kitchens. Ghost kitchens are amazing. I know a couple of chefs in Atlanta that has a ghost kitchen, been running for about 1.5 years. They've been killing it. And they're just cranking out food for Uber Eats and for Grubhub. Simple menu. I think he told me that Grubhub and Uber Eats also assist them in advertising their businesses on their platform. So they have a simple website, splash page, all they got, which is just a one-pager. And they're killing it out of this ghost kitchen. And again, this ghost kitchen concept is something that was brought up out of COVID. People started to operate in ghost kitchens. It became very popular during that time, and still is. And still is to this day. Here's another thing, that a hidden gem for chefs that I didn't realize. There's such chefs as festival chefs. I know. I was like, what the hell is a festival chef? These are chefs who only do festivals year round. I mean, they're really big festivals throughout the Essence festivals, the brewing festivals out in Colorado and Sonoma Valley. They do these festivals, and they're like locked in for these festivals. 3-day festivals, 4-day festivals, 10, 12, 20,000 people over a weekend period. And you're stationary in one booth for 3 days, and they're raking in money. $20,000, $30,000 weekends, easy. Selling food. These are just festival chefs. And they do a couple of festivals throughout 1 year and get a food truck. Then they get 2 food trucks and 3 food trucks, so on and so forth. Now they have these food trucks stationed at all these festivals. You could have your truck or yourself or your team at one festival in North Carolina and another festival out in California. This is the level any chef, a food service person who's been in the industry over 10 years, this is the level we have to start thinking. And I'll help you see that. It can be your menu. You get all the credit for it. It can be your food, all the accolades. This is almost an instant gratifying industry, especially with social media. If we post some food, we want the instant gratification of it look good, look great. But chefs are kind of wired that way. We are people pleasers. We want to make the best mac and cheese, the best swordfish, the best snapper, the best branzino, the best hollandaise sauce, and watch people eat it and watch their expressions and have them praise us a little bit for it. That was great. Do it again. But as a boss in the kitchen, it's okay. It's time to pass the torch and let your business flourish with these great chefs that you're training under you. And I'm not trying to discourage any chefs from getting out the industry. I'm just saying, if you've been doing this for a certain amount of time, there's a couple things that I want to let you know you should have going for yourself, or at least consider going for yourself if you're not trying to open a restaurant. I don't think restaurant chefs really have the time. Not the busy restaurants. They don't really have the time. And that's okay. I have a whole situation for that too if you don't have time. If you are working 40, 50, 60-hour shifts as a chef in 2024, let me give you a word of advice. Make sure you work harder on yourself than you do at work. Working in a restaurant or in the food service industry for 10 plus years, 15, 20 years, and having that company, whoever let you go for whatever reason, and you not have another real skill of trade other than cooking, you have to have something to fall back on, just in case. If I had this talk with people pre-COVID with chefs, hey, just in case something happens, you may want to reconsider another thing happening while this is happening. Meaning, while you're cooking, you may want to think about branding and getting your own pots and pans set for sale, or something else that we can sell. So just in case something happens, you still make a little bit of money somewhere off your brand and your name. Something we can pass down, something that becomes an asset. Because the only way that your cooking skills become an asset to somebody else is if you put it in a book, cookbook, piece of equipment, or something that's tangible that they can utilize to at least mimic what you're doing. That's the asset. The information is the asset on how did you make that. it's not that your hands are making the pasta, it's the knowledge that's making your hands do the pasta. That's the asset. That's the part that we try to extract from everybody that joins Chefpreneur Academy to become a better chef. What kind of ideas do you have? Yeah, we know you can cook. That's great. You can cook. But what else do you have that we can use to earn you some more money in this industry? And nothing's guaranteed until you do the work. You have to do the work. The work is necessary. Going right into the streams of revenue. You got to be diverse with your revenue streams. Just selling food ain't gonna cut it sometimes. We've already seen that. How many other streams of revenue can you have as a chef? You guys can count them for yourselves. Count them out. Like, how many other streams of revenue can you create for yourself right now? That'll be your homework for tonight. How many other streams of revenue can I create? And be reasonable. Make sure it's something that you can commit to. Make sure it's something that you can really follow through with. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure it's, put the idea out there. Make sure it's something you can go all the way with. We talked about advertising and marketing already. I think social media is doing a great job. If you're using your social media platform, which I've seen so many people do, as an example, I interviewed Darius Cook. I interviewed him. Great guy. And one of the things that he said was that he's not, it's him talking to me personally. He's not a chef. Never claimed to be a chef. He's like a food curator of some sort. He's leveraging certain things in the food service industry, like basically his ideas. He has great ideas. So I want to share something with you guys real quick. And this is Darius Cook's. Hold on for 1 second. Let me pull it up for you guys. Here we go.
People always ask me, like, okay, what do you do for a living? And my response is literally, I'm an entrepreneur in the food media space, right? So I thrive on building ecosystems that make people feel comfortable around food, and I monetize each level of those particular ecosystems, right? So I don't.
That's amazing. If you guys didn't catch that, he create ecosystems around the food service industry, and he monetizes those ecosystems. I think that's genius, first of all. That's just me personally. I think it's an amazing idea. I think that's how chefs should be thinking. And, he politely say, he's not a chef, never claim to be a chef. Like, he's not a chef. But the things that he's doing in the food industry, I'm like, damn, why aren't chefs doing this? Like, I think he has his own pots and pan sets, a couple other items he has. Like, what if, I'm not saying chefs don't have this. Let me back up a little bit. I'm not saying chefs don't have the mindset. I know chefs who have their own equipment and cutting boards as well. I'm talking about industry-wide. And the chefs that I know personally, which are know a lot of chefs. So after talking to so many chefs over my sojourn in the industry, I began to find out that a lot of chefs don't have this discernment about their careers. A lot of chefs don't have the discernment about what will I do tomorrow if, God forbid, I twisted my knee or I couldn't stand up and cook in the kitchen anymore, or if I injured myself. What would I do? I'm talking about the chefs who've been doing this for, I know chefs that will see this and see this right now. I've been cooking for a long time, and you love food. You love to be around food. I get it. But you have to start thinking about what if. And that's the whole purpose of Chefpreneur Academy. One of the purposes anyway is to get you guys to think. And that's how I was able to take almost 100 culinaries out of the military and teach them and show them, hey, you don't have to have a restaurant or a name. Like, they had no clue about how to open and start a restaurant. And it took them 5 days from being clueless to being totally educated on every aspect of opening a food service business. Food trucks, brick and mortars, QSRs, which are quick service restaurants, they were all in. So what I'm talking about has been tested and tried already, and I know it works. If you're willing to listen, it works. The hardest thing in this industry is staying motivated. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day of running the business and lose sight of the fact that you are working towards something greater. A lot of chefs are having a hard time staying motivated. A lot of chefs do struggle with that. And it's nothing to look on social media and to see other chefs that appear to be doing better than you in appearance. It happens. It happens with me. I look at, not in comparison to my career, but in contrast. Subconsciously, it happens. This is me being transparent with everybody. Like, it happens to everybody. You look at another chef, they're always doing something, or they going here, they with some celebrity, or they traveling, right? Don't mistake movement for progress. It's a quote by Jim Rohn. Don't mistake movement for progress. I know chefs who they've been doing it for a long time. They look great on social media. They look like they're like really popping, and have to borrow $100 from me. Doesn't matter who it is, just letting you know. Sometimes things don't look what they look like. So everybody struggles with staying motivated and just the day-to-day, losing sight of things, being distracted. Make some time for self-reflection. Self-reflection can happen after any event. After a wedding you just did, or a baby shower, or whatever thing you just did for that day. At the end of that day or the next day, sit down and reflect on what you could have did better, or what went great. Did your staff show up on time? Was the food ready? Did the client have any concerns, or did you follow up with the client a week or so after the event? That's important. A lot of chefs don't do that. Personal chefs talking to right now, caterers. A lot of you don't follow up with the client after the event. That's important. Keep you in mind for next time, or pass you around to your neighbor. Personal development and connecting with others who share your values and passion. That's important. Personal development is another pillar here at Chefpreneur Academy. Personal development became important to me due to the fact that once I got out of the military, all I had was cooking skills, and I didn't really know what to do with those cooking skills. So part of my personal development venture was I looked into this program called the American Personal and Private Chef Association. American Personal and Private Chef Association was ran by Miss Kendi Wallace, I think, at the time. And part of my personal development venture was to join this association. Another personal development goal for myself was to become a certified nutritionist. I did both. And by doing both, that's slingshot my career in a different direction real quick, real fast. So personal development is always important. Personal development may look like you just learned a new knife cut, or a new skill, or new salt, how to make something, how to fabricate a piece of protein. That's great. That may be what it looks like for you. But personal development ultimately is something that you invest your time in that enhances your career. Personal development is something that you invest your personal time in to give you a greater output. Personal development looks like this. You're a sous chef at a restaurant and you're getting paid, let's say, what's the average pay right now? $15, $18 an hour, maybe 20. And you notice that the executive chef is getting paid $35 an hour. Now, the executive chef is not necessarily better than you. He or she is not better than you. Can't cook better than you. You know this already. Why is the company paying them 5 times more than you? Because of the value they see in him or her. You can get to the same level and take time to increase your personal development. It may look like you going to join the ACF and you participating in getting your certifications for certified chef de cuisine, if this is your desire. People get paid more typically because of the value. The other catering company got hired over you due to the value that whoever hired them see. It's a competitive notion, but personal development helps with this. And this is part of the coaching that I offer, is showing you how to get there. Maybe you're feeling stuck in your business. A lot of chefs sometimes, it's hard. It's a hard struggle. You feel stuck or stagnant. This is what personal development does. The last one says, you need to surround yourself with positive and uplifting people, influences you to keep your spirit up and your head up in the game. That's needed. And it's needed, y'all. I'm telling you. I know it's needed. Time to time, it gets hard for everybody. And we're in an industry that we're here to appease people. That's what the hospitality industry is. It's a service, kind of a service before self type thing. The customer's always right. It's like a mantra in this industry. Even if the customer's wrong, So there's a little bit of yourself that you give away each day at work in this industry. That you have to kind of replace parts of yourself after working those long hours or just stressing out throughout the day. It's a very stressful job too. Being a chef. Very stressful job. Partnerships and relationships. I can't tell you guys how important it is to build partnerships. Like the young lady you just, where'd she go? Gotta find her comment, hold on. She just said that she's a commercial fisherwoman in the food industry. This is one example. Local farmers in your area. You can Google them, look them up. Farmers market. This is something that I did years ago in Virginia Beach. I partnered with the farmers market, and they had me every Saturday morning doing live demos. And I would get produce and proteins from the butchers and the vendors at the farmers market. And I would create something from what they gave me. What I wish I had did back then was create a cookbook or a pamphlet for what I was cooking and could have sold it right along with the free samples. I wasn't thinking. I was just happy to be cooking. Like in most cases, we're just happy to be cooking. We're excited to be cooking. I cook for a lot of celebrities too. Out of all the celebrities I cook for, I wish I'd have had a cookbook in their hands in those photos. I took photos with celebrities. Back up. I took photos with celebrities I cooked for. I wish I had a cookbook in their hand, my cookbook in their hand. That'd been free advertising. But we just get excited to cook for the celebrity, and that's it. There's a lot of other ways, y'all, that we can leverage opportunities. Building partnerships and relationships are super, super important. Don't always go after the money. I know it sounds like a contradiction, but don't always go after the money. Don't always focus on the money. Sometimes you have to do stuff to build a relationship and then circle back for the money. You need to approach partnerships and relationships building as a strategic effort. It's a give and take situation when building a relationship or partnership with people. The back of the house is everything that happens behind the scenes of your business. That includes everything. I think we got a question over here. Roots Kitchen and Banquet over on Instagram says, what organization did you go through to become a certified nutritionist? I'm looking into that as well. There's a couple different programs out there. Hold on. I'm going to put the link in the chat. But for everything else, if you're looking to get your chef de cuisine or chef certification, of course, that's go through ACF for that part of it. But certified nutritionist, certified dietitian, which I was advised against being a dietitian, but I wish I just did it myself and done it. But being a certified nutritionist and a dietitian as a chef, that sets you up for a whole other bag of money that the average chefs can't get to. And I actually saw a chef on Instagram a couple of days ago mention that there are gatekeepers in the culinary industry. Getting these certifications gets you past all that kind of stuff. There are people in our industry, unfortunately, that are gatekeepers in some fact. We'll talk about that some other time, but getting these certifications, personal development, investing in yourself. For example, booking a call with me, a one-on-one call with me, setting up your agenda and setting up your goals as a chef. Just have another person. I've been been doing this for 23 years, everybody. I've been in the industry for 23 years. Like, professionally in it for 23 years. Which is a long time, in my opinion. I have some advice to tell you. These are for my young chefs. Older chefs in the game alike, everybody. Listen to what I'm telling y'all. I have a cheat code that'll work for you. Especially if you're just getting started in the industry. Allow me to pour into you so you can avoid some of the hiccups and hurdles that nobody told me about. You can check out my Instagram too, like Chef J Ponder on Instagram. Done a lot. This is not me bragging, it's me telling you. I can help you avoid the hurdles as much as I can. I can advise you well. We can create a plan together. You can tell me what you're thinking and bounce ideas back and forth. That's something that most chefs don't really have the opportunity to do a lot in this industry. It's to bounce ideas. Or just try out ideas. Just try it out. See what happens. But I'll put that link up here in a second. Partnership and relationship building. This is part of what the program is about also, is to connect us together. If I have a chef from California and a chef from North Carolina, and the California chef needs some help out there, it's an opportunity for you to travel, see other people. But my goal is to build a network of chefs that we can tap into. Build a platform for chefs we can tap into. Like no other. Now, there might be other platforms already in existence. This is going to be different. Way different. You can join our Facebook community page as well. I'll pull it up for a second. You can join us up on Facebook or visit my website. The Facebook community page is probably going to be the most active spot outside of booking a one-on-one call. It's going to probably be the most active spot is the Facebook group page. And or for now, go to chefjacoby.com. Look up top. Click on Chefpreneur Academy and check us out. Over on YouTube, it's the real Chef J Ponder. A lot of content over there as well. But we're setting out to build relationships in our community, in this culinary community. This is what's going to carry us to the next level. That's the end of it. So, yeah, in conclusion, y'all, I appreciate y'all tapping in. Every Tuesday, 6:30. Next Tuesday, I'm going to do my best to book some chefs. If you're interested in coming on here live to talk with me live on Tuesdays, shoot me an email. chefpreneuracademy@gmail.com. Shoot me an email, subject podcast, and tell us who you are, what you got going on, and I'll bring you up here on the platform. We can talk for a couple of minutes about some things in the industry, some challenges. I think people, you're most certainly welcome. I think people need to know more about the real challenges, what's going on in the industry. Not just a social media posting of your food and you get a couple of likes. What did you go through that day to cook that dish or to make that event happen? Like, we go through a lot. The shopping and the cooking and the loading, the unloading, the packing up, and y'all know how it goes. It's a lot of work. So shoot me an email. If you want to come on the platform live, we'll have a conversation live for a couple of minutes. Definitely book your one-on-one calls so we can take a deep dive into your business. I can give you a hand and help you out a little bit. Kind of create a new direction for you to pivot the business a little bit. And continue to follow us, man. Support. Like, subscribe. We got more to come. Way much more to come. Thanks again for joining. Appreciate you guys. Have a great Tuesday night. It's Taco Tuesday. Who's making the best tacos tonight? Have a great Tuesday, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. See you guys next Tuesday.
People always ask me like, okay, what do you do for a living? And my response is literally, I'm an entrepreneur in the food media space, right? So I thrive on building ecosystems that make people feel comfortable around food, and I monetize each level of those particular ecosystems, right? So I don't look at myself and go, I'm in the food service